Let's get physical. It's Jordan here, back again with this week's update on all the physical releases coming to the Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2, June the 15th until the 19th. Drive Rally is releasing this week, another retro-style rally game. We've had a few of these recently. There seems to be some nostalgia in the air for Sega Rally or Colin McRae. This one has some really big chunky cars and really tight roads. There's a free roam mode as well to make it feel like a complete package. Quite approachable too, from reviews on Steam, which are mostly positive. The only thing I hate about it is the name. I refuse to write the hashtag, I'm not even saying it. Like, do your own search engine optimization. R-Type Tactics 1 and 2 Cosmos is releasing this week in North America and Europe. Finally, it's only been 3 million years and everybody's dead, Dave. This game was announced so long ago. It did come out in Japan earlier this year, and I think some of you may have imported it even just for the nicer box art, but now it is the West's turn to get this mammoth package. You get two really big, long tactical games as you play R-Type, but with turn-based ships. Really interesting, rather brutal at times, but I think it is something that people can sink their teeth into, and also a lot of their time. It's also on PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4. There was supposed to be an Xbox version too, but I don't know what happened to that. And my executive producers, Azrath and Dave Huswaite, they've chosen this as their pick of the week. And if you want it, or any video game ever, then please consider using the links down below in the description and pinned comment. Any purchase made via a link helps support me and this channel in the best way possible. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. VGP are a great company with free worldwide shipping on orders over $55 American. Plus, if you buy something via my link, you are put into a draw to have a chance of winning a $10 discount coupon. And this week's winner is Eric S. Congratulations, Eric. You should get an email from VGP with your discount coupon in the coming days. If you don't, just hit me up and I will sort it out for you. High on Life Nintendo Switch 2 Edition is releasing in Europe this week at retail. You will remember that limited run games took pre-orders for this in North America. Not sure what the current status of that is right now, but this is a proper Switch 2 physical you may want to add to your collection if you're really into first-person shooters with a bit of zany comedy. The mildly annoying thing about it is that the second game, which is coming to the Switch 2 very soon, is a game key. Why make the old first game a proper cartridge but not the second one? Well, that is just the different attitudes between publishers. And my executive producers, Josh Foot and God of Resin, they've chosen this as their pick of the week. The Adventures of Elliot, the Millennium Tales is releasing this week on Nintendo Switch 2 as a game key. Boo! Alright, the low print limited pre-orders. Apidya Special is inKONBINI's latest release, and this is exclusive to inKONBINI.com, at least the special edition is, also on PlayStation 5. This is a port, or well actually a remake, of a Euro shmup from the Amiga that originally released in 1992. It has a fairly unique insect theme to it, which I really like. I do love me some insects. It also has a power-up system that mimics Gradius, which is one of my favorite systems, so it's got a lot of things going for it in my opinion. It's due for August, and this special edition, exclusive to their website, which I've linked down below, includes a soundtrack CD and an art book. Remember, if you buy something from inKONBINI.com with my link, I have a one-time use discount code, Paradise, for 5% off. And my executive producers, Instacritic, Firm Returns, and Mr. Awesome, they've chosen this as their pick of the week. Chained Echoes is back, but it's not with First Press Games, it is with Super Rare Games, and it's going to be available for pre-order on Thursday in a standard and collector's edition. The production number will be decided shortly after initial orders begin. They're going by demand, which is a smart choice for this one because it's a huge release. Sadly, those who did pre-order with First Press won't be able to get their money back unless First Press do that for you. So of course there are some people unhappy about the situation, but what can you do? At least the game will actually be coming out. It is a big RPG inspired by the classics of the 16-bit era, and my executive producers, Miami Sunrise, John Jamin, Adamantium, Dane Wilkinson, Cartoon Soren, G Bautista 100, Jake Vav, The Nemo 6, Jennifer M, Precision Plague, Viz, Nerdy Sean, Madhawk 110, and my brand new executive producer, Chaser Mine, they've chosen this as their pick of the week. Tenebris Somnia. Strangely, I don't know how, but I forgot to talk about this in last week's episode. Sometimes if I make a dedicated video about something, that can happen, but I might as well talk about it now. Lost in Cult are bringing a very quirky horror game to Nintendo Switch 2 physically on a proper cartridge, as well as PlayStation 5 and Xbox. There's going to be a standard retail release, but there is a limited edition with only 1,500 copies available at Lost in Cult's website. I've linked them down below. I now have an affiliate partnership with them, which is cool, so you can support me via that link. And the game does look really super interesting. My executive producer Lewis K and Mr. Lee from Eastern NC on eBay, they've chosen this as their pick of the week. Alright, the imports. Yes, Play Asia territory. If you want to import any of these games, you can do so via the Play Asia links. And if you click my link for that website, you can get 5% off with my discount code Jordan 2026. For some reason, it's been a bit finicky these days. You may have to try a few times to get it to actually work, but persevere, okay? I'm one of the few people with a discount code, but remember, click my link first. If you don't, it won't work. UsoNatsu, The Summer Romance Bloomed from a Lie, is releasing this week in Japan on Nintendo Switch, and it will play in English. This was released on PC a couple of years back, but now it's coming to home consoles, and it is a kinetic visual novel of a decent length, about 16 hours for the average reader. It is a Yuri visual novel too, so a bit of girl-on-girl romance. It is a clean VN and it has got very good reviews. It's coming in a standard edition as well as a collector's edition, which includes a booklet, a set of cards, and a tapestry. And my executive producers, D's Nuts, Jimmy A. Guerrero, Surfs in for Air, Sora Cat, Danielle O, and Dead Bunny's YouTube, they've chosen this as their pick of the week. inKONBINI, One Store, Many Stories, is releasing in Japan this week on Nintendo Switch, which makes it kind of unique because in the West, this is not releasing physically on the original Switch. It is only getting a physical release on Nintendo Switch 2, and it's not a Nintendo Switch 2 edition, so it won't work on your original console. So, if you are adamant at being a Switch gamer for the time being, then you'll probably need to import this version. This is a cozy slice of life management game set in rural Japan in the early 90s. You stock shelves, chat with customers, and chill. It will play in English and will be in a standard edition as well as a collector's edition, which includes a lot of small stuff, so I'm not going to list them all, but it looks nice. And my executive producers, Joshua L, Jeddah Crow, Brent McLean, Vay, Cole Animals, Kevin W, Ghost Bune, and Juice250, they've chosen this as their pick of the week. R-Type Dimensions 3 should be releasing in Japan this week on Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2. I say should because I know the Western physical was pushed back in order to accommodate the patches that were demanded by fans of the original game. Having played the game on both systems myself, I personally didn't notice the absolute laundry list of issues fans of the original game found. Maybe I'm easily pleased, or there is kind of a culture from shmup fans who immediately have to find out what's wrong with the latest retro port of a shmup. I'm not going to deny the issues, but it's almost like a sport to them. If you want this physically earlier, then maybe consider the Japanese version or wait for the Western version, which should be better, more complete on the cartridge. Probably not 100%, but better. And my executive producer, Punky Dooster, has chosen this as his pick of the week. Days Collection First Print Edition. A quick mention to this, which was delayed from last week to this week. I think the Hong Kong version did manage to release, but most of us in the West will want to pick up this English cover version with the nice bonus goodies included. So that should be coming out, or should be sending out this week. Japan is also getting Severed Steel and Little Kitty Big City, both of which we have in the West. However, that was a long time ago, so maybe these Japanese releases are more complete on cartridge. That would be nice, right? We'll have to see though. Alright, before we get into the community spotlight, if you are new here, hit that subscribe button. It will be the best thing you do today, I promise you. Plus, if any of the games I've just talked about make you feel hype, then hype this video, okay? That will help me out as well, so yeah. Let's get on to the community spotlight. Sandra K sent in this photo with the 3 Persona games on Switch, which I frankly cannot believe the remake of 4 didn't get announced for Switch 2 during the Direct or even before the Direct. It just screams they want sloppy second sales from double-dipping dingleberries, who will buy it on the big consoles first and then again when the Nintendo version eventually gets announced. They know what they're doing, the snidey sods. Dead Bunny's YouTube heard my call of wondering why we hadn't seen many of these Switch 2 physicals of the Disney Afternoon Collection. Well, here's one of them, a nice addition to the Switch 2 library. Cartoon Soren showed off the limited edition of the first Rebirth game. The first and second game's limited editions are now sold out at Play Asia, but VGP still have copies of the second game's limited edition if you want to grab that before it goes. Super Benjulio picked up another Disney collection alongside an evergreen Switch JRPG. Often see this one pop up because of just, well, the affordable price. Andrew R. sent in this photo picking up quite a few imports. I really do enjoy Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon. It is a great introduction to the Mystery Dungeon genre. It's got good production, there's lots to do, it's not too difficult as well. So yeah, a good introduction. Dabro90 sent in this photo with a bunch of super rare games releases, which I guess were purchased during the pick and mix sale. I will admit I also partook in that event. Bludo the Smelly sent in this photo picking up 2 imports. It's nice to see Solna X Collection out and about. Such a long wait for that one. David S. showed off a very satisfying Switch collection, nicely put together, organized and presented, way better than I ever could. Firm Return sent in this photo. I tell you what, we have seen a lot of Indiana Jones. I think this has been supported way beyond my expectations. I loved what it was going for, but, you know, a late port, a full-priced port, I thought only the hardcore fans would pick it up, but I guess you are all hardcore fans watching this video series, so I don't know what I'm talking about. Instacritic sent in this photo, picking up the animal fighting game, which looks genius in a very crap way. I'm not sure how much English is needed, but how difficult could it be for, you know, a Triceratops to take down a lion? Who knows? D's Nuts sent in this collector's edition of the Langrissa Double remake. I love the artwork for the Langrissa series. I prefer the classic look, but even the remake visual style is very solid. Miami Sunrise picked up an import exclusive that I thought would be bigger than it turned out to be. RPG Time, The Legend of Riot. It looks so cool as a game. G Bautista 100 sent in this photo with Banner of the Maid. I would have been prouder if this had sold out immediately at Super Rare, but at least it gave people a solid chance to pick it up. I championed this getting a physical release for so long, and all it took was a change of publisher. Dame Fortuna sent in this photo picking up Inazuma 11, one of the big imports to have in your Switch 2 library alongside Fantasy Life. In fact, they should be in your original Switch collection too, because they both play on the original Switch as well. The Family OG. Wow, now that is a clearance sale. Nuts price, especially for Kirby. It's almost like they didn't know what they had. Azrath picked up this early Japanese copy of R-Type Tactics 1 and 2 with the box art I very much prefer compared to the Western one. This Japanese copy is so cool. My man in Japan, sent in this photo picking up the Japanese imports from last week. Dark Auction actually is such a minimal upgrade compared to the original Switch, but it seems mildly popular. I've seen a few people purchase it and choose it as their pick of the week. Tsuki DeFleur sent in this photo picking up the Riser Triple Pack, and it seems that the Atelier series is leaving the original Switch now, with the latest game being announced skipping the console in favor of the Switch 2. Prepare for a world of game keys, or maybe Asia coming to the rescue with a proper physical, but I doubt it. Mr. Lee from Eastern NC on eBay sent in this photo picking up the 2 pinball physicals from limited run games, of which I envy very much. I do love a good video pinball game, even though I am naff at them. Alright, let's have a roundup. Kresalak, Gundam Star Force, Twig E, Scarlet, Cultured Weave, Bub, Skip to the End. Don't skip to the end, that's their name. Exile, Turbo Chef, Seaweeder, Mr. Awesome, Jimmy B, Franco F, Axaru, Datman, Lindsay S, Frank, Metalhead Game Collector, Cost 71, Nico W, Alright, if you want to send in your photos, the details are on the screen right now. Special thanks to my executive producers over on Patreon. Thank you so much for your support. Plus you watching right now. If you watched all the way through, you're a legend as well, and I want to know who you are. Please leave me an insect emoji in honor of Apidya Special, okay? And go watch some of my other stuff and have a fantastic day. Take care.